Hello everyone, Interact here with a bit of a different video. In this video I'm going to talk about the one major issue that I have with the way the current spirit is. I'm not going to talk about how she can't be countered, or she's overpowered, or she needs a major nerf, or anything like that. I'm going to focus on what I believe is the root problem with the current spirit. A lack of actionable feedback. What do I mean by this, you may ask? She doesn't have any tells that lets you know as a survivor what it is that she's doing. She doesn't give you any information to work with. Think about every other killer in the game. For the Trapper, you can see him and hear him place his traps. You can see his traps on the ground if you look closely enough. You can even see if he has a trap by looking at his hands to see if he's holding one or not. For the Wraith, you can hear him ringing his bell. You can hear the whoosh when he cloaks and uncloaks. You can see his shimmer when he's in stealth to know where he is. For Billy, you can see him change his stance when he starts revving his chainsaw, and you can obviously hear the chainsaw because it's extremely loud. For the Nurse, you can see her charging her power as she puts her hand out. You can guess how far she's going to go based on how long she's had her hand out. In addition to this, she also screams very loudly every time she blinks. For Michael Myers, you can see him change his stance when he's stalking. You get a global sound cue when he goes up a tier of Evil Within. You get that annoying screen flash when he goes into tier 3, and not to mention the expose status effect icon pops up on your screen. For the Hag, you can see her placing her traps down. You can even see them on the ground if you look hard enough. And you can see her change places when she teleports to a trap. For the Doctor, you can obviously tell what stance he's in based on what hand he's using. You can see him charging up his shock attack. You can see the shock attack on the ground. For the Huntress, you can see her pull a hatchet out of her belt. You can hear the sheen when it's fully charged. You can see the hatchets flying mid-air. For Leatherface, same as Billy. You see him change his stance when he revs his chainsaw, and it makes a ton of noise. For Freddy, you can see him place his snares on the ground. You can see the snares on the ground. You can see the generator start spewing blood and the blood husk popping out of the ground when he's channeling his teleport. For the Pig, you can see her crouch down and know that she's in stealth. She roars when she starts doing a dash attack, and you can see her change her stance during the dash attack while she flies through the air. For the Clown, you can see him holding out a bottle. You can see him charging up the throw. You can see him reloading. You can see the bottle flying through the air. For the Legion, you can see them change their stance when they go into Feral Frenzy. You can hear the loud noise that they make when they fatigue. They stare at their hands. For the Plague, you can hear her and see her start to charge up her Vile Purge or Corrupt Purge. You get a global sound cue when she gets Corrupt Purge. Her headdress even glows red while she still has Corrupt Purge active. For Ghostface, he changes stances while he's in Night Shroud, and you can see that he drops his red stain. You get a sound cue when you're facing him to reveal him, and you also get a sound and visual cue when he marks and exposes you. He also changes stances while he's leaning and stalking. And finally, for the Demogorgon, you can see him place his portals on the ground. You can see him go into or out of portals. You can see him open his face when he's getting ready to shred. He makes a ton of noise. These are just some of the major visual and audio cues that the game gives you to work with as a survivor, so you can play around whatever killer you're facing. The major issue with the spirit is that she doesn't have any of these. Before anyone says anything in the comments, no, the glass shards do not glow while she's phasing. I have tested it. I have checked the code. There is nothing about her glass shards that change while she is phasing. Stop perpetuating this lie. It is 100% false. You can't tell when she's phasing unless you're out of her terror radius. She doesn't even move grass or bamboo or corn while she's phasing. This is the major issue that I have with the spirit in her current form. She doesn't have any easily noticed and actionable feedback that you can work with as a survivor. I hope the behavior doesn't gut her when they end up doing a rework on her, because let's be honest, they're going to. I hope they just add some kind of feedback that survivors can use and play around. I'm a killer main, but playing Spirit is really boring because I know that the survivors can't really do anything outside of guess what it is that I'm doing. They don't have any major audio or visual cues to have any idea if I'm just standing still staring at them, charging up my phase, or if I'm already phasing. Outside of the entire discussion of balance of power its duration, its movement speed, charge time, recharge time, any of that. I think that we can all agree that the Spirit would be better if she actually gave survivors something to work with. She needs to do something like move the grass and corn while she's phasing, have a major visual or audio cue when she starts a phase or while she's in a phase, something more than just the whoosh when you aren't in her terror radius. The survivors need something to work with, and doing some of these might actually even give Spirit players more actual mind games with her power. I'm fine with having strong killers in the game. I have no issue with the nurse post-rework because I think she's strong, but you still have ways to play around her. She shows her hand, quite literally, when she's blinking. The Spirit shows you nothing. You get nothing. All you get is frustration because you have nothing to work with to know what she is doing. There is no actionable feedback.